Hi Dowell, I just wanted to go over some of the different options that we can look at for display of the METAR and TAF data using the ADSB for each airport. And I wanted to go through the various apps that are currently on the market and how they treat each one of these situations. So, first of all, let's take a look at the FlyQ model. FlyQ you have access to as well, but the FlyQ model is fairly simple and it seems to be the one that I like the most. Doing a hard press over top of KTUS, this contextual screen comes up, and from this screen it basically gives you all of the different navigation options close by. For our purposes, it should just come up to the airport that is closest to the hard press, which in our case is Tucson International. So I'm going to select KTUS here, and you'll see. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to click KTUS, and I have to click more on that. So if I do that and then details, it comes up to this page, and as you can see on the bottom, they have info, METAR, forecast, winds, and FBOs. For our purposes, we should really only have info, METAR, and forecast. And then you notice up at the top, underneath the diagram area, you have the NOTAMs and TFRs. So in this case, let's go to the METAR data at the bottom, and it, as you notice, it describes the in plain text the data of the airport on the flight conditions that it's currently under, both in the coded format and the uncoded plain text format underneath it. It also is handy because it gives the METAR data of local airports close by and when they were last updated. So we need to make sure we add the last updated data from that as well. Going to forecast, it also gives you coded TAF, and it also gives you in plain text as well. Notice the color coding of the area that or of the flight conditions, green being VFR in this case. That is what we were talking about earlier as well. So going back, let's go back to the details and show you what the NOTAMs look like on this one. As you notice, this is the NOTAMs. I don't know what exactly is being broadcast via the ADSB in regards to NOTAMs. So as you can see, there's a lot of stuff on here. So if we're going to use NOTAMs, we need to make sure that it's in correct form. So for right now, let's just concentrate mainly on the METAR and the forecast, which is also called the TAF. So that is FlyQ, how they handle theirs. Again, hard press, KTUS, handle more, then details, and then it comes to the actual page. For our purposes, I think it should really be one singular tap to get to that information. So there's a couple of others that actually are better treatments of that. Let's go to the Garmin Pilot method. This one I think is actually really quite nice. They don't use a sectional chart. They have their own navigational data, so this is also looking at KTUS. So if I do a simple tap at KTUS, it comes up with this nice circle, and as you can see, you can select airport information from the diagram at the top, WX VFR at the bottom, that's the weather conditions. Over on the right side, the thing that looks like an inverted wedding cake, that's your airspace. And then there's information on the left-hand side about adding it to a flight plan or going direct to it and such. So for our purposes, let's just select the WX or weather at the bottom. And it gives us a really quick and simple translated weather conditions at the top, and then gives us the terminal area forecast, or the TAF, at the bottom. I think this is a great way. If we can make a way to just do a singular tap similar to what you see there, and some sort of contextual graphical menu, maybe instead of a circle we have something like a line on the side or something like that, or a column on the side that has various things. It would be great to have something like this because I think it's just easier to navigate to that. So again, this is what it looks like here. And again, this is Garmin Pilot. So we should probably note this down as well. You can go to various airports around. You can see it kind of pops up no matter what airport you're looking at. So that's Garmin Pilot. Another one is AeroV. AeroV is a little bit different. This is again using the VFR sectional map, and we're going to hard press on AeroV. And similar to ForeFlight, comes up with all the different navigation facilities and stuff around the airport. So in this case, we're going to click on KTUS, which is right at the top. And this one's similar to ForeFlight, gives you a contextual model of the various things available at the airport. You click on WX, gives you the METAR. It takes about 3 clicks to get into this. I think we really only need to go into 1 click, honestly. They also have a NOTAM at the very end, NTM. Click on that, and it is logging that in. Again, they have to. It's not nearly as intuitive. I think it's not translated in this case. So I think this was kind of like an afterthought for them, quite frankly. So that's what the NOTAMs look like here. But again, similar to ForeFlight, hard press, select KTUS, go to WX, gives you the weather, the forecast. Again, everything is very similar to what, and they also give the local, the closest airports close by to it as well. There's Ryan Field, that's close by. Marana, close by as well. Okay, we'll go into another application. In this case, we'll go into WingXPro. I'm not really too excited about WingXPro on this one, so what I will do is I double-click over top of the airspace for KTUS. So let's select KTUS. It gives us this quick little contextual menu again, weather, and it gives you the untranslated weather. So this doesn't have plain text, it just has the METAR and TAF in coded format. We should make sure that we do both coded and uncoded format, just to make it easier for people to look at. Also notice on here that they do not have the actual NOTAMs here. So KTUS NOTAMs, you have to access it from the main route here. And as you can see, it's just a list. In all these cases on this, you have to actually physically press the close button, which kind of blends into the background, as you can see. Instead of clicking on the outside of the dialog box, you have to click on close, which I think is actually not very good if you're flying. So that is WingXPro, and then the last one is FlyQ. FlyQ is a little bit hard to navigate with, so we'll try to do this as best as we possibly can. So double click on FlyQ over the airport, and it gives you the Tucson International dialog over here. It gives you some basic information. Clicking on Tucson International from here, it brings you to a larger briefing screen that has everything about it, and then you have to go into weather from there. They have things translated as well. They have the METARs translated from the code. There is not a coded format. It's just plain text. So maybe there is a maybe they're going a little too far and making it easier. You can switch over to the raw like that, but it's not easy to find it. They don't have it on the same screen. The other thing that they have is that it's very hard to read. It's very small text. I think in our case we want to make sure that we keep the text fairly large. And maybe on the actual map itself, having a contextual dialog screen that pops up instead of having to go to a completely different screen. Because one of the things that I've noticed from this is that it's very hard to figure out where the heck to go afterwards. I end up having to go down to the Maps button at the bottom and go back to this. So it's a lot of clicks to get in and out of here. So I think really, when it comes right down to it, the best implementation is the Garmin Pilot style, where it's a simple tap, weather, VFR, everything's here, quick snapshot, and if you feel like you can actually click out of this by going back, or if you click off the dialog box. So like if I click anywhere other than the dialog box, it'll take it off. So I think that's the easiest way and the most clean implementation to do. So let me know if this is something that you are able to do kind of similar to this. I think it would help matters a lot. As you can see, this is the Garmin Pilot overview of everything here. So we will talk a little bit more about this, but take a look over it and let me know what you think on the conference call tomorrow morning. Thanks.